Hello and welcome to this CSi8 Beginner's Guide. Over the next 10 minutes we will cover the basic functionality within CSi8 so you can familiarise yourself with the new software. When we open up an image, it will be blue highlighted around the edge. Over on the left hand side we have our image toolbar. As we scroll down, we have different functions including zoom, highlight, rotation, mirror, negative inverse color, crop, and a relief. By selecting these, this will then allow us to zoom in on an area, for example on the zoom button. Please note in the bottom right hand corner there is a white icon on some of these tabs. By clicking on that then opens up an additional section of settings. This follows throughout CSi8, so whether you see a white arrow in the bottom corner, this allows additional settings. As we move along the ribbon bar across the top, we have our drawings and annotations toolbar. This allows us to do measurements, add text, and calibration. Please note that these calibrations need to be done if you are taking measurements on the tooth. The measurements can be selected here. As you can see, I have multi-segment selected, but if I click on the little arrow, this allows us to do a straight line measurement, angle measurement, and orthogonal measurement. Please note the one that you use last will be the one that is preset. As we move across the ribbon bar at the top, we have the icon for a slideshow. We can print. Again, if we have a printer set up on the system, we can email, we can save as, and we can import a 2D image. If we click on save as, we can save as or export as a DICOM. We're going to click save as on this occasion, and the save as window will then appear. In the destination file, we can select the location where we want to save this. So you may have a folder set up on that PC that you can browse to and then select that location. Image type we can change from JPEG, BMP, TIFF or PNG. If it's being sent to us for an image quality issue, please try and keep it in the current format, as this is what the manufacturer will request. File name, this can be changed. If you want to change the name here, we can adjust that. And then we click save, and that image will then be saved for that in that location. So you'll be able to send it via email or a secure link to whoever requested it. As we continue across the ribbon, we have our image acquisition devices. Depending on what you have installed on that unit will depend on what icons you will see. For instance, if you have an 7600 installed and connected, this will appear as a green icon. As we move further along, we have another button that says Screen Options. This allows us to do different things, clear the workspace, auto-arrange, and so on. You can play around with these and to whichever preference you have. The next button along will take us back to the patient browser where all our images will appear. And finally we have our full screen dark mode. By clicking on this, the image then removes all outside bars, and so you get a much darker image. By double clicking or pressing escape, it will return the image back to the main screen. The most useful function you will use is probably this box in the bottom right hand corner. This allows us to apply filters and adjust the contrast and brightness if we need to adjust it up or down. So by moving the bars and the brightness, as you can see, it will go up and down on there. And likewise up and down with the contrast, and then finally your gamma setting. You can reset these at any point to return it back to how the image was originally. No problem at all with that button there. Your adapt filters are across here, so you can, depending on which ones you've pre-selected, these will apply filters to the image to your preference. We can adjust these by clicking the cog in the bottom right hand corner here, and this will load the CS Adapt library. Once the CS8 library has loaded, we'll have 4 different options across the front. These are the 4 filters you have pre-selected already. They're already your favourites. You can select these filters to apply acquisition, as you can see here. You'll know that this one is being applied to acquisition because the X-ray icon will appear in the bottom right hand corner. Should you wish to modify a favourite, you can simply click on Modify. This will then load an array of different filters that you can apply, and it's down to preference, personal preference and choice. Once they've all loaded, we will then select our favourite. I can hover over the image I wish to look at, and I can now select that as my favourite. Once I'm happy with what I've chosen, I'm able to save and exit, or if I don't want to save anything and return to original settings, I can exit without saving. There is also options down the bottom to restore factory settings and cancel current changes. I'm going to save and exit. Now as I move through these filters will then apply onto it as I go through. So that's the image processing bar. We go along to histogram equalization button. We can move this bar around, and again that adjusts our brightness and contrast depending on how we want to look at it. And finally, our dental arch. Any teeth that are assigned when saved will be applied on here, and so we can highlight the area that we're looking at on those teeth. By right-clicking on the image, you also have a different array of options as well. Some very similar to all the other ones we've looked at already, but one of the most important ones on here is assigned to another patient. So if you have taken an image and it's appeared on the wrong patient record, you're able to move it without having to export and then import. You'll get a warning that comes up on the screen, displayed image highlighted in red, are not saved, please save them. Click OK. So we're going to save that image first. So I can go onto there and click Save. And again, it brings up the save window. And now I can, if I didn't want to have them on that teeth, I can select wherever I want it to be. So selecting them the correct area here, 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 and here. If I want to type some additional notes in, I can do here. And again, down the bottom, you also have a bite wing selection as well. So not a bite wing, LFM, RM, RMP, LMP, LP, RP. Click Save, and that is then saved. If I right click on again and assign to another patient, you'll get this sign come up, and it will show you all the different patients in the database. So that will ask me to send it to a certain person. I can click the patient that I want, click Assign, and you're about to move the selected patient from this to this. Do you want to move these images? Yes or no? Click Assign. And that will then move that image to the correct patient's record. And finally, if we are still within this window, in the bottom left hand corner we have 6 white boxes. By clicking on that, this will also bring up our patient film reel. So we can select on the images we want to look at, this by double clicking, and that will then bring those images up. Anything we've added or adjusted to the image you'll see will appear. So in this case we'd already done some measurements on there, which then show on the side there. For any further help or questions about CS Imaging 8, you can email digitalhelp@ddgroup.com. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.